And moving on to a Republic exclusive, well, ahead of the Karnataka Assembly polls, the Congress appeasement politics has been completely exposed. Karnataka Social Welfare Minister H. Anjanya has made some stunning admissions and he has admitted to appeasement politics. Let's listen in to what he said.
ಹೌದು ಹೌದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಗೆಲ್ಲಬೇಕಂತಲೇ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾಡೋದು ಏನು ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ನು 4.5 ವರ್ಷ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವಾ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಈಗ ಅದು ನಾವು ಅವಾಗಲೇ ಮಾರ್ಚ್ನಿಂದ ಹಾಕ್ಯಂತ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಈಗ ಟೆಂಡರು ಅವು ಇವು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈಗ ಬಂದಿದೆ ನಾವು ಗೆಲ್ಲಬೇಕಂತಲೇ.
And Pooja, South Bureau Chief, is joining us live on this broadcast. Well, Pooja, we just heard this minister openly admit that all these schemes that they're coming out with is only to target the elections, and he didn't even seem apologetic about it because he said that's the strategy everybody uses.
Absolutely, a completely brazen admission coming forth by the Social Welfare Minister here in Karnataka, Mr. Anjaneyya. When we questioned him about the various schemes, he also told us that they have planned several more over the next couple of months, just ahead of elections, targeting the SC, ST and the backward class here in Karnataka. And when we asked him if this is just for elections, he went on to admit something that most people have accused Congress of, but the Congress has been claiming otherwise. But this time around, their own social welfare minister in Karnataka going on record to say that we're doing this just keeping elections in mind. Everybody does this to make sure that they win elections. So this completely takes the mask off Congress's face, where they claim that they're trying to work towards social justice, social equality. In fact, here in Karnataka, the Chief Minister has for the longest time positioned himself as a champion of the backward classes. And we've seen over the last few years, they're trying to consolidate the backward classes vote bank so that they can target that as one chunk. Interestingly, Suesha, there was a caste census that was conducted here in the state, the result of which they have not yet made public, despite many demands by both opposition and several sections of the public to know what are the numbers, because if that is done for your political benefit, then they had no business using the state exchequer's money. But clearly, the state government has gone on to see which caste weighs the most in terms of votes and have gone on very methodically to target that particular chunk. Just for the benefit of our viewers, very quickly, there are 3-4 very prominent schemes that they've announced over the last couple of months. One, they have granted land in prime localities in Bengaluru, acres of land, to associations from backward classes. Second thing, they've tied up with a taxi operator to give subsidies only to SC/ST drivers, loans for cars for SC/ST drivers. Another scheme that the Chief Minister recently launched was that of giving free laptops to SC/ST students. So several such schemes have come forth, but even Dalit leaders are unwilling to buy this fast, because they say this is nothing but eyewash, nothing but publicity, because on the ground, hardly any student or any person from the backward class is benefiting from these schemes.
Absolutely, Pooja. Like you said, it's nothing but an eyewash, and in fact, there are several political reactions coming in on it. You continue to stay with us. Let's listen into them first.
Yeah, first of all, what Anjaneyya said and what he has admitted, it is admitted. Last 4.5 years, the government was in the Karnataka state. Nothing has done. And only promises have been sailing. The government, if they started this in the beginning stage, they would have do something for the cause of the people who are really need. And as he has admitted that election, this is very close to the time. See, hundreds of years we have suffered in the hands of many. Now we are suffering in the hands of the Dalit leaders.
The fake concern of the Congress party towards Dalit welfare has clearly been exposed by none other than the Social Welfare Minister, Mr. Anjaneyya. His candid admission, the welfare schemes recently launched are all aiming at winning votes in the election not for the well-being of the community is very sad. Several schemes in the recent past has been announced for SC/STs and the backward class communities. These schemes are only aiming at votes in the coming assembly polls. The Siddaramaiah government, in every issue, in every program, their intention is not all-round growth and development of the state, but only to win the coming assembly polls.
See, primarily, if at all Mr. Anjaneya helps the downtrodden community who are backward and Dalits, it is really a very, very welcome move. But there is a huge difference between politicking and politics. Politicking is for next general election and politics is for next generation. Mr. Anjaneya, who comes from a marginalized society like being a scheduled himself, should not be doing appeasement politics. He should really do something concrete for his community who are really struggling in the state of Karnataka and India. This is such a shameful thing. Mr. Anjaneya is a very senior leader. He and Mr. Siddaramaiah, other than doing some appeasement, have absolutely done nothing to the people of Karnataka, whether it is farmers, whether it is minority Muslims, or now in the case of Dalits. It is such a shame on Congress party. They should come out of this appeasement and do something concrete for the people of the particular communities.
And Pooja, our South Bureau Chief, continues to stay with us. Pooja, like you saw, everybody is questioning the way the government is acting because it's been 4.5 years, and while people have been crying and complaining of all their woes, nothing was addressed to. And now suddenly, when the elections are coming up this year, the government wakes up and now they introduce so many schemes only to play appeasement politics further.
You know, we saw similar script being played out in Gujarat towards the elections. They tied up with a Dalit leader, Jignesh Mevani, and tried to position themselves as a champion of the backward masses. The same script is being played out here in Karnataka as well. Of course, here it is being done by the Chief Minister himself, who's for the longest time said that he's working towards social justice, ensuring that everybody gets to be a part of his developmental politics. And this is the same trumpet he's been blowing for the longest time, saying that we're not somebody who will only work for the elitists, we'll work for the rich, but we are somebody who will focus on the backward classes. One very pertinent point that most of the Dalit leaders I spoke to made was, if these schemes are announced so close to the elections, there is a very good chance that somebody might go to court asking if this is for just elections, and these schemes could very well be stalled. What will then happen to the people who are supposed to benefit from these schemes? And also, if you closely look at the kind of projects that they've actually announced, most of them will not benefit the people who've been suffering. It is just something that is superficial and will benefit the middlemen to ensure that they make more money just ahead of elections. So clearly, in whichever way you look at it, it's an eyewash, it's a farce. And now